You're listening to 8158 Stories of Sacrifice, where we honor the bravery of the first responders and the families who stand behind them. Real people, real stories, real heroes. This is 8158.
Welcome to this episode of 8158 Stories of Sacrifice. Today, we are honored to feature Chris Ballard, a correctional officer at a state prison in Alabama. Chris has been working in corrections for 2 years, bringing with him a wealth of experience as a security officer and reserve officer. His story is one of resilience, determination, and heart. Chris lives with hydrocephalus, cerebral palsy, and high functioning autism, yet he faces the challenges of his role in a medium maximum security prison with courage and dedication. He values the structure and routine of his job, finding purpose in building connections with inmates and camaraderie with his coworkers. In this episode, we'll dive into Chris's journey, exploring the obstacles he's overcome, the lessons he's learned, and his unwavering commitment to serving his community. We'll hear about the difficulties he's encountered, the triumphs he celebrates, and his reflections on what it means to truly make a difference. Let's get started and learn more about Chris Ballard's inspiring story.
All right. How's it going there, Chris?
We're going good. We're going good.
Outstanding, outstanding. How's your evening been?
Man, just recuperating after an on-site yesterday, so just sitting there watching some football.
Oh, yeah. Gotta watch that football. Who's your favorite team?
I'm gonna have to go with the Lions this year.
Yeah, they seem to be doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Detroit this year.
Yeah, that was my cousin's favorite team. No, mine's 49ers.
Now, originally I'm a Saints fan because I was raised in Louisiana, so
Okay. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right, so let's go ahead and get on with our interview here. I'm going to go on a background and your path to corrections. So what made you decide to work in corrections, and how did you feel when you first started?
The guide to my path in corrections was, grew up in a family full of law enforcement lovers. My uncle was a reserve officer for the sheriff's department back in my hometown. Um, just growing up watching them and watching a lot of friends join law enforcement kind of just gave me the motivation to jump on board. And since I couldn't candidate being a police officer, I said, well, my next option was corrections. So, I got in, made it in, went to the academy for like 6 to 10 weeks, and it's been a breeze from there.
Okay. Would you say that you like corrections so far? I mean,
Yeah, I like it so far. It's not bad. It has its good days. It has its bad days.
okay,
But all in all, you kind of learn to just adapt to it because
right,
you know who you're dealing with on an everyday basis. You know who you work with on an everyday basis. So some days it's good, some days it's bad, but you kind of learn to adapt to it every day you come to work.
right. It's like every job, it's a kind of
Right.
a love-hate relationship.
All right.
Yeah. The same here being a truck driver, you know what I mean? I love truck driving. I don't know what else I would do in my life, but I hate it too at the same time.
Yeah, my dad did it for like what 20 something years. My dad was a truck driver. Drove a 1984 International. God, what's the name of that model? It's a flat. It's a flathead. I call it a flatbed truck. The
Hmm.
front real flat, and the only way you can get the inside open, you had to pull it forward. I
Okay.
think International Star. It was
The
the flat,
Eagle
huh?
or something like that was an international Eagle or
Eagle. That's what it was. It was Eagle.
yeah.
Red, Red Eagle with the flap on the um on the exhaust pipe. It was a flap on the top of the exhaust.
Okay, yeah, yeah. That's
Every time
covered,
you
keep the
flap,
moisture out.
fine. Yeah, I remember that very well.
Yeah, good old days, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, how did your experience in security and your role as a reserve officer help you in your current job?
Just kind of knowing what to do, just from the experience at the academy, they taught you the 10 codes and, they taught you the ins and outs of the certain laws you had to learn. And, for me, I always told incoming officers, they always had trouble learning the 10 codes. I said the easiest way I learned learning the 10 codes was listening to the radio. Just listen to how these guys spoke and how that language was on the radio. That's how you was able to pick up all the 10 codes very quickly. And that's how I caught it very fast. Understanding what the codes meant, what their meaning was when you called it out on the radio, just by listening to how they talk, and just kind of taking notes and jotting down things. Because, just on my job in general, you have what we call a duty post log. We have to log everything that we do inside those dormitories, whether it's feeding, whether it's escorting the inmate. We have to log everything from the time of shift to the end of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of paperwork.
A lot of paperwork. That's the biggest thing about my job is a lot of paperwork.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So let's go on to challenges. What is the most difficult part of working in a level 4 security prison?
Just understanding the inmates. Because, each of these inmates, they have different egos, different personalities. And that's what you're dealing with on an everyday basis. Is you're dealing with a lot of different personalities. And, each personality is totally different. One day they can be calm and okay. The next minute they're ready to fight with you. So you got to learn how to kind of adjust and just catch on to it real quick before you get yourself hurt.
Right.
I mean, one day they could be calm and cool. The next moment you go into work, you might hear a code red on the radio, which that
Mm.
means code red is an inmate on the officer fighting. It's happened to me thousands of times where I've gone inside the prison, and the first thing I hear on the radio is a code red. I'm having to haul butt and run. Don't even get a chance to clock in, just take off running.
Man, what a way to start the day.
Yeah. You come in calm, and next thing you know, you're full of adrenaline.
Right. Right. Stress right out the gate.
I wouldn't go much. For me, it's not so much stress. For me, it's like, okay, fun time.
Fun time. That's a good way to look at it. So how do you handle days when things don't go as planned or feel overwhelming?
I kind of just, if it's overwhelming for me, I'll take a minute to myself. I'll sit down, I'll catch my breath and, okay, how do I handle this next situation? Do I call for assistance? Do I call the supervisor? What do I do? I kind of try to think it out before it happens. That way I know how to, take part of how to handle the situation.
Okay. Now, have you faced any moments when you doubted yourself, or uh, if so, how did you push through that?
There's been times where, I have doubted myself once or twice. And the way I handle it, I always pull another coworker to the side and I say, hey, how do I handle a certain situation? There's been times where I've had to pull a supervisor to the side and say, hey, what do I go about how to handle in a certain situation I can't take part in, that I can't handle? And they've always, and I thank God for my supervisors, because they always find ways to walk me through certain things. As one of my supervisors once told me a couple of weeks back, I'm gonna tell you things that you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And it's always been a motivational thing for me.
Right. No sugarcoating it.
Yeah, no sugarcoating it. Just get it to me straight. And that's
Right.
what my supervisor has always been with me.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's what I like from people is just give it to me straight. Don't sugarcoat it. Just no BS.
Yeah, don't beat around the bush on me on it. Just
Yeah.
give it straight. If I'm doing something bad, tell me. If I'm doing wrong, tell me.
Right. Exactly. Now we know that inmates can be unruly and tensions can be high. So how do you stay calm and focused when inmates don't listen?
Just be fair, firm, and consistent. I follow by that code every day since I've been in corrections. I follow by that. Fair, firm, and consistent. If you're going to be fair to one inmate, you might as well be fair to all of them.
Right.
There's no beating around the bush on that. You can't do one thing for one inmate and not do it for another. That's why my coworkers always told me, if you're going to let one inmate out the door, you might as well let them all out.
Right.
If you're going to swing the doors, swing the doors. If not, lock them down.
Right. Yeah, you definitely don't want to show any favoritism.
Right.
You know,
That's what gets problems
cause a
started.
lot of strife. Right. Yeah, I can totally understand that. Absolutely. And what has been the hardest skill for you to learn on the job, and how did you manage to improve?
Just the paperwork, learning how to write it out, how to word it, how to put certain things in the 434s that we use at work, which is legal paperwork. Because, everything you put in the paperwork, you got to tell the truth. Because if you lie on it, the higher ups will get you for it.
Mm.
And it can possibly cost you your job or your freedom, as I always say.
Yeah, there's no point in lying because the truth always comes out.
Right.
It's like when the inmates before they go to prison or in court and they try to lie about it. You might as well just tell the truth and get it over with.
Because it'll be a bad ending for you in the long run.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's go ahead and talk about resilience. Living with some of your what would you call those illnesses,
I
or
would
are
call
they
them disabilities.
disabilities? Okay, so how do you stay strong and motivated to succeed in those challenges at your job?
Just stay humble and just stay positive. Always stay positive on your job. No matter, and I've worked so many jobs. I guess you could say I'm a jack of all trades. I've done some of everything, and everything I've ever done in my life, I've always stayed positive. Especially having my wife and my family backing me up, they've always kept me grounded. They always kept me positive.
That's good. It's always good to have a support system. Without that, it'd probably be really, really hard for people to overcome certain situations without
Right.
having that kind of a support system to motivate you.
I mean, for example, I just did an on-site to try to up my pay and up my status. I didn't pass it, but my wife was like, "Don't give up so easily." If another one comes on, try it again.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
basically, it was a physical agility test. I'm not in the greatest of shape, but she said that's where you start working at it, get yourself in shape, and then go for it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep at it, man. You could do anything you put your mind to if you keep working
Right.
at it. Keep, just get yourself strong. You can do it. You
Exactly.
can make it happen. So, what helps you stay confident in yourself and your abilities?
I guess I could say just teach others about it. Because, a lot of people don't ever know that I have all these conditions and disabilities about me. They don't know anything about it unless I tell it to them. And when I tell it to them, they kind of shocked.
Right.
They're like, whoa, wait a minute. You got this, and this, and you work in corrections? Man, I applaud you for that. And I've
Hmm.
heard it thousands of times of people tell me, I applaud you for what you do.
Right.
For you to have all that and you do the work you do, that's a big, bold step.
Right. Now, do some of the inmates know of your disabilities, or do you keep
Yeah,
that from? Oh, so
they
they,
know.
they
They know it.
okay.
But how can I put up this story? Prime example, we had an incident break out where the inmates were fighting. I was running to the situation to try to get there. I fell. I fell 3 times. But instead of the officers helping me up off the ground, it was the inmates. The inmates helped me up off the ground. They dusted me off. They said, hey, man, get there quick, man, and try to get the situation handled. And from there, that's kind of how I knew I kind of earned my rep and gained my respect from the inmates.
Right.
Because there's been plenty of incidents where I've almost gotten in fights with other inmates, and I've had inmates actually jump in to say, "Yo, no, yo, back off of them.
Hmm.
You know, don't even push the issue, man. Y'all leave them alone, man, because that's gonna get you a write up."
Right.
So I've had inmates actually jump in and step in and say, "Hey, if you want to write up, y'all leave the man alone." I've had inmates look out for me.
Right. That's
They
good.
wouldn't tell me nothing wrong. As a one inmate always used to tell me, I'm gonna tell you some things that's gonna help you keep your job, man.
Hmm. From experience, I
From
know that even though some people have gone to prison and jail and stuff, not all inmates are bad. They just made mistakes and did some things that got themselves in that situation.
That's what I tell myself every day I walk in foot in that prison. Not all these guys are bad. I've seen some of them actually go home. And I tell them all the time, that's my goal. That's what I feel like that's my job to do, is to make sure y'all get parole or y'all get home to y'all family. So I try to do my best to keep y'all out of trouble.
Exactly.
I ain't there to fight with you. I'm there to try to help you get out of here.
Right.
And
That's why it's called corrections.
right. And the one thing I tell them all the time, oh man, I'm going home, Ballard. I'm going home. Good. Don't come back.
Right.
I tell them all the time, you going home? Don't come back.
Right. Don't be a part of that revolving door.
Right. Because I tell them all the time, you come back, you're going to deal with me when you come back.
Put the booty.
Right.
Uh, so how do you keep going when things get tough, both at work and in life?
Just keeping God first, man. Just really keeping God first. Just keep God first in everything you do. And that's been part of my family's resume for years, Always stay humble and keep God in your life. If you got those two things involved in your life, anything's possible.
Amen to that. Absolutely. Now, have you had moments when you surprised yourself with what you can do, and can you share an example?
Actually doing chow one night. Had the big thing from the warden was you can't have the bowls or you can't have the trays come out the chow hall. One inmate in particular decided, okay, I'm a buck. I'm gonna just be hard headed. He took off running from one officer. I happened to see it. I caught it just in time, and I took off running, and I just tackled the guy, and that's what shocked me. I was like, oh wow, I didn't think I can do that. I mean, took off full speed before he even made it out the door. I already tackled him outside the door, and they were like, all my coworkers and inmates are looking at me like, "What the? Did Ballard just do that? What the? Where did he come from with that?"
Where'd
So they
that truck
probably
come
like they were like, "Ooh, ah!" They're like, "Where did he come from with that?"
from?
I surprised myself. I didn't think I was that fast to get to him that quick. It was, I guess, I call it an adrenaline rush. I guess that's all it was. I just took off. I didn't even
Right.
think nothing else of it. All
Acted on
I said,
instinct
I
and
looked up, I'm on the ground with the inmate. That's all I knew. I was on the ground with the inmate, and I had him in handcuffs. Yeah,
um,
that's a moment to this day I still cherish, and I kind of laugh about it. I giggle about it because it's like, oh man, my coworker come to me, man, you remember that time you tackled that inmate, man, doing child? I say, yep.
yeah.
Until this day, that same inmate coming, man, please don't tackle me, Ballard. I don't want to get my ribs hurt again.
Yeah, don't mess me up again.
Yeah, please don't mess me up. I was like, no, I won't. As long as you promise not to run.
Right. So, what roles does your routine play in helping you succeed?
Um, well, when you've done, I guess I say you kind of, it's repetitions at my job because you do the same things every day. You know, you come in, you relieve the last officers that was on duty, you relieve them, you do your seg check, you get your radio check in, you write down the first count in the log, you get the first count done. And from there, it's just repetitions every day of the same thing. You kind of, I've kind of gotten down to it where it's like, I know exactly what time they're going to call child. I know exactly what time they're going to call the second or first count or the third count. I know what time they're going to do it. So I kind of get these guys ready. And I've worked in one particular dorm so much that they kind of know when I'm going to call certain things. They kind of already know when I'm going to call it. They're already ready to go. So when they call me on the radio, hey, you got your pill card ready for to go? You got your first line of child rigor? I say, yeah, they're already ready, man. I'm just waiting on y'all to call the go button. So they know it and I know it. So we kind of work together of when it's time to go. When I tell them it's pill call time, it's like, okay, he ready for pill call. Oh, smoke break. And I
Okay.
say, particular, the dorm that I work in is called Foxtrot. And it's a Christian based dorm because the prison I work at, they turned it into a Christian based prison. And it's basically, they call it the outcome prison because that's the prison you go to when you know you might getting ready to either go to work release or you're finna go home.
Okay.
So these guys in this dorm in particular, they know that they can't smoke in that dorm. So when they call for pill call, I tell them, hey, get ready for pill call. Okay, hey, y'all smoke break. Y'all know my rule. Y'all pick a side of the dorm, pick a side of the building outside. Y'all smoke. Once y'all done, go back in. Let's lock it back down. They give me no problems. No issues. They know already. So they're like, man, that's why we love having you, man, because at least you know how to run it.
Right.
I'm just a
Yeah.
structured kind of guy, I said structure.
Yeah, it's always good for especially inmates to have structure because without that, then they become unruly and don't know what to
Fine.
do. They want to take control of things.
Right.
They're not the ones in control. The staff and the COs are always supposed to be in control of everything.
And that's what I tell them. I say, y'all here on vacation. Some of y'all anyway. And I tell them, I say, y'all listen to us, the night that goes smooth. Y'all don't, hey, I got a place for y'all. Either in the back in the SEG unit or we can go to the shift office. And I can just write you up.
Right. Yeah, neither of the rooms sound very good.
Right.
So in uh, relationships and support, you've said your coworkers are like family. How does their support help you face your challenges?
They always help me through. They've helped me through the hard times, even at work. Excuse me for a moment. I got to sneeze. Oh my god, no. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go. We're good. We're good. They always know how to motivate me. They know how to, help me get to do certain situations. And that's why I always tell the incoming officers, whatever happens at work, leave it at work. Don't bring it home because it causes problems. And they
right,
always tell us, don't bring stuff from the prison home with you because it'll cause issues at home. Leave it at the prison. It's kind of like that old saying goes, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
right. What happens at work stays at work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we should all have a tendency to leave our work life at home and
Leave
leave
your
our
home
home
life
life.
at home.
Yeah, vice versa. that kind of thing.
Right.
Those two don't mesh sometimes, and it can cause strife.
Yeah,
Or
they don't butt heads either.
right, and get you distracted at your job and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Got to stay focused on your task.
Always, especially in that kind of
Especially,
line of work, you
yeah,
got to stay focused. Any
absolutely.
mess ups can cause you a lot of trouble.
Hmm. I heard that. I heard that. Now, do you have any mentor or someone who has inspired you to keep you going?
My uncle, both my uncles actually,
Okay.
they've been my uncles and my former football coaches. They've always been a big supportive in my life, along with my wife. They all those people I've named have all been big supports in my life. Even on my bad days, they find ways to motivate me and keep me going.
Right.
Because I can remember when I first decided to get in corrections, I can actually remember my uncle saying, "Are you sure this is what you want to do? Because that's a lot of work." And I said, I told my uncle, I said, "Hey, I got to give it a shot. That's all I can do. They can't deny me a higher position. I got to give it a shot and see what I can do."
Right.
I even surprised myself in the 10 weeks that I went, the 6 to 10 weeks that I went to the academy. I surprised myself.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard line of work. Uh, you know, I don't know if I could do it myself, but
I can tell you the pay is good. It's law enforcement. I mean, it opens many doors. That's what I can one thing I can say. It opens a lot of doors.
mhm,
But you meet a lot of great people along the way.
right.
But for me, already being in the field before I even got into corrections, I already knew a lot of officers. So they were all pushing me to go for it. So I said, "Hey, might as well."
And look at you now. There you are. You're part of the team.
Yeah, but still to this day, like I told you when we talked before,
Hmm.
you know, some states, some areas don't consider correctional officers law enforcement, and it still grinds my gears on it. But I still learn to live with it and say, hey, at least I'm a part of the team. I don't have nothing to worry about.
Right. Well, I mean, you play a critical role in that part of the process. I mean, the road deputies and the police officers and the state police, they do their job and they bring them to you, and you gotta
Deal
deal
with
with
them
them
on an everyday basis.
on a long term basis instead of just
Yeah,
a few hours.
right. And I get that a lot from a lot of the road deputies and city police. They say, "Man, we applaud you for what you do, man. I can't do what you do." Yeah, I know you can do what I do because you can't bring a gun into prison.
Yeah. So, how do you build trust and respect with the inmates you work with?
You just kind of you learn about them. Some of them tell you about their families or show pictures of their families to you, and that's how you kind of build your trust with them. Especially if you stand your ground and you stand on, as my supervisor calls it, standing on business. If you stand on business with these inmates, they will trust you. But you on the other end can't trust them, so you got to be careful who you trust as an inmate. Because some got social media accounts, and you just got to be careful with it.
So they have access to uh, technology in
Yes,
prisons.
they have tablets
Okay,
that are ran by the prison. Only certain things they can do on those tablets.
okay. They have
Certain music
access to
they can
social.
listen to and certain movies they can watch.
Wow.
So
I,
yeah, but they do have to pay for the tablets. They have to pay them. They have to pay off their books. They ain't
okay.
free. Even
Now,
some numbers they call it can be restricted to that certain purpose they can't call.
I was going to ask you, are they restricted on certain things, or they have full access to social media and all that stuff?
No social media, because if they even get caught with a social media account, that's like 30 days in the hole.
Okay, that's good.
Sometimes that's like what 30 days of no phone privileges, 30 days of no store, 30 days of visitation privileges. Like they'll ban all that if they catch you with a social media account.
Right.
That's how strict they are. They really don't play with that. And I've seen a lot of inmates go to the hole because of it.
Trying to play the system and thinking they're going to get away
Right.
with it. Mm-hmm.
Right. They'll try to play the system. And it's like some of the inmates I see in the SEG unit, it'd be like, I'll be wondering myself, hey, man, did I just see you the other day? Why are you back here? Oh, man, I did this, and the captain was like this and that. I'm like, well, man, just serve you 30 days, man. Well, can I get a cigarette? No, I can't bring that to you back there. So, if you was on the outside, maybe I can work with you. But back there, no. If you was out in the freeway, I can work with you. But inside here, no, I can't work with you. You know
Right.
how it goes. You're not going to get me in trouble.
Right.
Now, if you
So,
want, we'll call the supervisor and let them talk to you.
yeah, let them do it.
Yeah, I've done my part. I got a job to do.
Well, hopefully
That's even the most craziest part is that, certain officers, the inmates in the dormitories and in the SEG unit, if they hear it's me, they're like, oh man, Ballard here. Yo, Ballard, come back here. Man, what y'all want, man? I ain't got time. I just got here. I just got here. Y'all already calling, screaming my name. Man, it's y'all time. Well, let me find out. You give me just a moment. Let me call the supervisor. Let me find out if it's y'all shower now. If it's y'all shower now, we're going to get y'all squared away. Because I got into it with an inmate the other day because of that. Man, it's our shower night, Ballard. Come on. Bill, if you don't calm down and stop that hollering, it's me you talking to. Calm down, man. Breathe. Give me a minute. Let me find out if y'all got showers or not. Give me a second. If y'all got showers, we'll get it squared away, man. Just calm down and stop the howling. Right. It's like not even 2 minutes later, he was calm. And all it took me to do is just talk to him.
Right. Like
I guess like I said, I just had that what's the word I'm looking for? I have that tenacity about myself. I've learned, if you just talk to them, they'll calm down. Especially if it's a certain officer they know, they'll calm down for you.
Right.
Now I can't say it's for every officer they do that for. I know for me they'll do it because they know I won't take no, I won't take no BS from them.
Yeah, just treat him and talk to him like a human being, and a lot of times you catch more bees with honey.
You get more respect like that, and that's what I try to teach these new officers. You can't just go in there hollering at them, screaming at them. If you talk to them like a normal human being, they gonna respect you.
Right.
I wish I knew that on my first day on the job, but I didn't. I had to learn that the hard way.
How long did it take you to learn that?
Oh, God, maybe a couple of weeks. I was constantly getting into arguments with inmates. I was constantly getting into it. And my supervisors were like, dude, what is he doing? He's going to get himself killed. But these inmates understand one thing about me is the more they got to know me, the more they understood that, hey, man, all this man trying to do is his job, man. He don't want no trouble out of nobody.
Right.
But he ain't going to take no BS off you, though. He ain't going to let you talk to him any kind of way.
Right.
So, that's how they learned about me.
That's good. I'm glad you stand your ground and earn that respect from them. It's always important to, get respect. You have to give respect to earn respect.
Right. And you can't be a hothead. Don't go in this job being a hothead. I
Right.
seen him get jumped because of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go on this job being a hothead, thinking, "Oh, I'm bad, I'm bold, I'm tough." No, you're gonna get yourself killed like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though half of these inmates, I mean, you can look at them and be like, "Man, they won't even hurt a fly." But have I said, you know, I haven't seen an inmate get stabbed or getting shanked or getting a fight? Yeah, I've seen plenty of that.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember a guy getting stabbed in the leg, and we had to carry him out the dorm, and there was a blood trail for about a week and a half
Mm.
that we couldn't get up. It's just the things you see on an everyday basis inside of a prison.
Right. Right. Mm. So now looking at reflections on challenges and growth, what have you learned about yourself through your job?
Through my job, about myself, I've learned that, you know, I've gained a lot of much more confidence because I didn't used to be a confident person.
Mm-hmm.
But I've gained so much of confidence to say, hey, I remember what the recruiter once told me when I first got this job. He said, if this guy that we had with your same disability can do this job, you can do it. And here I am 2 years later, still doing it, still going strong, still going to work every day with a smile on my face. Even if it's a bad day, I still going to work with a smile on my face. Hey, let's get to work. What needs to be done? And who's going home? Let's get them home.
Right. That's that's the number one key right there. Going home for everybody, not just inmates,
Not
but for
just
the
inmates,
officers.
but staff.
Yeah.
I mean, does my wife worry about me every day going to work? Yes, she does. She wants to make sure I come home okay. I can tell you one thing, my wife always tells me, be careful going to work.
Mm-hmm.
She tells me every day I go to work, be careful.
Right.
Call me and let me know you made it there okay.
Right. Yeah, my line of work, my fiance, she always worries about me too. And we have this thing above our door that she got. It says, I love you, be safe
I
before I
like
leave.
that.
I see that every day, you know, before I go to work because, you know, she wants me to come home. I mean, it's not as dangerous as your job, but, still being out on the road, it's still hard to deal with
Not to
people you
mention,
never
you
know.
got the issues of the, which I think is true, the black dog. I think that is actually a true thing when it comes
Right.
to truck drivers.
Getting tired and overworked and sleepy. Yeah.
Yeah, you can only drive so many hours on the road before you get pulled over.
Right.
Trust me, in my home state, I see it every day. I see truckers getting pulled over by the state police every day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first thing that goes to my mind is that they overdrove or they didn't get enough hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So it's constantly every day on the road.
Yeah, it's a hazardous job too.
Yes, it is.
But I do it every day. It's, I make good money at it. So,
Yeah, and I pray for my truck drivers because, man, you already, especially whatever state you may be in, you know, the single car drivers can't drive worth the snot,
yeah.
swerving in and out of lanes. I watch those
Mm-hmm.
videos on YouTube all the time of the truckers, of the folks be not even paying attention to the truck driver. I'm like, y'all see this big old rig coming down this lane and y'all just want to jump in the lane and brake check them?
Right.
And what happens next? They tear up your whole doggone vehicle because you want to brake check them.
Right.
Just
Pull
shake
right.
my head on that.
Yeah. Pull right off front of them.
Pull right in front of them and just automatically slam the brakes. And it's like, well, that's your vehicle that's about to get destroyed.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. A couple of weeks ago, I was at the scene of an accident. I was just about at my terminal, and a car was T-boned right in front of me.
Oh wow.
I watched it happen, and I got out of my truck, and grabbed my fire extinguisher, and to make sure that everybody was okay. But another guy was calling for assistance with the EMS and the police and stuff.
Oh
I was
wow.
just checking on the passengers and the drivers and everything, and making sure their car wasn't on fire.
Well, my thing was I hope the driver and the passenger were okay.
Oh yeah, they were fine. They were fine. It was an
Cause
elderly man too that was T-boned, and
oh wow.
yeah, it was kind
I
of a
mean, I heard a couple of months ago about the driver that almost drove off the bridge. Why? Because she was asleep. She fell asleep behind the wheel and went off the bridge, almost off the bridge. The front cab of her truck was hanging off the bridge. I think it was a
oh
FedEx worker. If I remember correctly, I think it was a FedEx worker.
hmm,
Yeah, your job. I'm talking. You think my job is dangerous? Y'all got the dangerous job. I couldn't be a truck driver. I couldn't do it.
right.
I'll be too
Yep.
scared.
Yeah, we had a gal here. She was a Cisco driver, and she was in Louisville, headed towards Jefferson, which is on the Indiana side, and she had got hit by a four-wheel truck, a pickup truck, and it took out her front steer tire, and she went off the bridge, and her cab was hanging off.
That might have been the lady I was thinking about because it was on the news.
Yeah, it was 31. It was on 31, and she got hit by another pickup truck.
Right. That's what I thought I
She went
remember.
off.
Yeah. She got hit by the truck and went off the bridge. It was dangling.
Yeah,
That's the one I'm thinking about. Yeah, I saw that all over social media, man. I saw that video 3 times. I was like, boy, ain't God good, boy, because she could have went right down off that bridge.
oh yeah, oh yeah. That's
Ooh,
not too far from where I live.
ooh, that's dangerous. That bridge looks dangerous. Who knows?
Yeah, I've been across that bridge a few times.
Ooh, couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Even with a regular car, I wouldn't drive across that bridge. I'll find another route.
all right. So, how do you measure success in your work?
For the good things, I applaud myself. And my supervisors have actually called me out and say, hey, I don't brag on Ballard enough, but I'm going to brag on him. The one thing I can tell you about him, when he's doing, he's already got them ready to go before we even call it. He just bragged on me the other day about that.
Hmm.
And he said, the one thing I'm going to brag on him about, he already got his guys ready to go. He's got his inmates ready to go before we even call it. It's like he's got a structure going where
Hmm.
he knows when we gonna call it. But hey, I tell you one thing: when the code is called, he's gonna run to it. He'll
Hmm.
get there, he'll try to get there before anybody else does.
Right.
So like I said, those are some big successes in my line of work. Is that I've even heard it from the inmates. The inmates have actually told me, man, the one thing I can say about you, Ballard, you got heart, man. You're not
Hmm.
scared.
Right.
I wasn't raised like that. I was raised to have heart and not be afraid of things. You know, if I feel the need, I got the confidence enough to go for it, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Right.
So now, if you could go back and give yourself advice before starting this career, what would it be?
If I can give myself advice before starting this career, what would it be?
Hmm.
Don't go in there with a hot head on the first day. Listen to what the supervisors tell you. Earn your rep and build your respect with these inmates. And listen to what your family is telling you.
Hmm.
That's what I would tell myself. If I would have knew that back then, I probably would have had a better career than what I got now.
Right.
But you know, you live and you learn. Baby steps.
Right. Well, the thing is, you had to learn the hard way, but you learned.
Right.
And what do you think the most important thing others can learn from your story?
It's just don't ever let anyone tell you what you can't do. Do what you think your heart and your mind can tell you that you can do. Put your heart and your mind into it, and you can do anything. That's another
Exactly.
Bible verse I used to hear a lot. With God, all things are possible. With man, all things are possible. But with God, anything is possible.
Yeah. Amen.
And that's one verse I've stuck to ever since, oh God, since I was a teenager. And by me sticking to that Bible verse, that's why I've been able to succeed as well as I have. In other words, saying, don't let anybody tear your dreams down. If you got a dream, go for it. No
Hmm.
matter the abilities, the disability, whatever it may be, you go for what you believe in.
Right. Definitely. Definitely. In closing, what do you want people to know about overcoming challenges and never giving up?
Don't let your dreams die.
Right.
Don't let them die. If you got something you want to succeed at, you work at it. You put the work ethic in.
Hmm.
Even if you're not the greatest at getting that work ethic, you find the motivation. You find the one thing that motivates you inside and out your heart, and you push yourself every single day. I mean, just for example, with this onsite I didn't pass, I got my coworkers backing me up and say, hey, man, you failed, go again. Push
Right.
yourself. Even if you're not great at the push ups, work on one, work on two. Every day you just work on it and you get better at it. I mean, they've been on my butt for like the past 2 months about it. So they've been my motivation. Along with my beautiful wife, they've been my motivation.
That's good.
Don't let your dreams die. If somebody tells you you can be a random kid with a disability, oh man, you ain't gonna make it out of this world. You ain't gonna do nothing with your life. No, you take that and say, yes, I am.
Exactly.
Yes, I am, and I can. I will, and I can.
Right.
That's how.
Find your purpose.
That's how I had it as a teenager and a kid growing up. I had people tell me, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that." But the one thing my mother always told me: don't let people tell you what you can't do.
Hmm.
And that my mother's been my biggest influencer. Even still to this day, she still does that. Even as an adult, she
Right.
still does that. That's just a mother's love,
Absolutely. It's unconditional.
most definitely.
Yeah. Unconditional love right there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
always got to trust mama. Now, is there a message you'd like to share with others who struggle with struggling to achieve their goals?
Man, just stay positive, man. Just stay humble and stay positive. You fail once, do it again, man. You do it until you get it. You
Mhm.
do it until you get it. When you achieve that goal, trust me, you will feel so much better. No matter how long it takes, it can take a month to a year, whenever. You keep working at what you believe in and what you strive for until you get it.
Mhm.
Especially if you want it that bad, you'll do it.
Yeah, show that intestinal fortitude and go
Exactly.
after what you want.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Hmm. I mean, you're doing it. I mean, you took
Hey,
your test, but you're going to do it again, right? You're going to
right.
pass it next time.
Yeah, there's other tests around for me to do it again.
Yeah. I hope and pray that you do. I wish the best for you on that. and
Thank you.
you know, you definitely deserve it. I mean, you work hard. You have a lot of tenacity, and you know, you give me a sense of encouragement because I mean, I don't have those disabilities, but I mean, you obviously have overcome a lot,
Right.
and that shows a lot of
Yes.
courage, a lot of strength. It gives me a lot of encouragement myself.
Yes, sir. Glad to intrude.
So, but is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we get off of here and let you get back to your football games?
Not that I can think of, except for the Lions are winning 7-3.
In honor of my cousin, I'm gonna root for the Lions.
Yes, sir.
All right, my friend. I really appreciate you being on here. God bless you, and you're such an awesome person. I really enjoyed interviewing you here.
Same here, sir.
Really had a good time.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
I wish the best for you and your family and your coworkers and the inmates, and hope everything works out for you.
Thank you so
And
much.
we will probably be doing follow-up interviews in the future. So I'm going to find out, and we're going to see if you pass that test yet.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. Keep in touch.
Will do, man. Will do. You have a wonderful evening, and enjoy your family.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Same to you, sir. God bless you.
And God bless you as well.
Yes, sir.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you for joining us on 8158 Stories of Sacrifice. Every story we share is a tribute to the courage and resilience of first responders and their families. If this episode has impacted, encouraged, or inspired you, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who supports first responders. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, and Truth Social at 8158 Podcast for updates. Remember to visit our website, www.8158podcast.com. For questions, collaborations, or to share your story, our email address is contactus@8158podcast.com. Until next time, let's continue to honor their legacies and remember their sacrifices that protect us all. This is Rico signing on and honoring 81.